Hey YouTube, Rob coming to you guys here with the deck profile for current format. As you can see in the description is a Dinosaur deck list, but we use the new card that I'm going to talk about first, which is Visa Starfrost. We play 3 copies of this card because you want to see it. We technically play 5 copies, but we'll get to that in a little bit. What this card does is if you have another monster on the field while it's in your hand, that's a different level and attribute as that, or type, I can't quite remember exactly, but since this deck doesn't matter and we don't play any other warriors in our deck, you're popping the babies, you're popping whatever, and what's the other effects? It gains attack if it kills a monster. That's cool. We're not doing that ever. The 6-star tuner, which is really insane. So with baby, it's like a 2-card Baron plus more. So yeah, that being said, so we play 3 copies of this card, or 5, but. And then to like really up the consistency on seeing babies, we technically play 7 copies of a monster we want to destroy off this card. So having the extra Petit Aerodon is really helpful, just to like really make sure that this can go through and you're actually going to get like your full effect of the board. I haven't figured out like what an end board could look like for this deck yet. There's a lot of different options in the extra deck, I'll be honest with you guys. So I'm just, at the end, I'll give you guys like my like rough draft extra deck. Next is 3 Oviraptor. He's still just such a good starter card on its own. The 1 Miscellaneousaurus. 2 Archosaurs. I still don't want to just like brick on the 1 in your hand and then just like not being able to do this play. So still opting for 2 and 2 pills to go with it. I don't want to just brick on pill and not be able to search off of this. So for the sake of more power and more consistency, having 2 like the extra of each is just really good. And this has way more targets than just like the 1 big boss, so it's fine to have extras in the deck to like play for a follow-up turn. Speaking of targets, we have 2 Big Daddy Boss Dinosaur. Pankratops, I mean, it's a dinosaur deck. Can't really go wrong without Pankratops in your deck. Then we have the 1 Searchable Kaiju, just because it's a Kaiju and it's a dinosaur. So we just have all that in there. The rest of the dinosaur, well, I guess the last 1 dinosaur monster is Giant Rex. Not playing Jirac-Aleo. I'm not trying to do like needle fiber combos really, but it's good. And then we have the 1 of these. I'll get over the other cards that I like debated on playing, but I wanted to keep the deck as like hyper consistent as possible because dinosaurs do brick. And then our other cards, we have 3 Ash Blossom. I know these are my Korean copies for now, but my other copies are in a different deck. So yeah, 3 Ash Blossom. It's our only hand trap, really. It's all we are going for, just to stop branded fusion. I mean, DD Crow could be played in the deck as well, but I kept the deck at 41 cards just for the sake of consistency and everything. 1 Destrudo. This isn't necessarily needed, but I like all of the options that this deck has, given that Destrudo is just a way to get into the extra deck more, and it's another tuner. So I figured why not play it, even though we're not playing Halki. And then we have Snow and Token Collector. Token Collector combos actually really well with Lost World, where you can actually do a whole lot more combos with it. But with Despia being the best deck, I didn't want to have too many of this card in our deck. I wanted 1 for Shooting Riser, just in case like you draw the Snow. So, shocker, we're playing Shooting Riser. So that's all the monsters. Next, some of the spells. Rest of the spells, we have 3 Prosperity. It's just really help keep to our deck through everything. Field spells, we have a lot. I thought about playing Set Rotation in here, but I opted out not to play it yet. I might later, but I don't know yet. So we have 1 Diagram, 3 Lost World, the field spell that searches the Fist Toss or whatever it's called. So this searches for it, but this has another cool effect that if there are 3 defense monsters on the field, either player's field, you can pop a card your opponent controls. So what's really nice is you can go with Lost World first, give them the token in defense, play this after, search the guy, and then pop a card with it. So it's pretty niche. You don't really care to do that effect often because you'd rather keep Lost World face up on the field. but being said, yeah, it's just a searcher for the other guy. Then one terraforming, hence the 5 copies of it. So, yeah. And then our last spell is Called by the Grave. It's just Called by the Grave. There's nothing else to be said about Called by the Grave, honestly. Cards I thought about playing, I'll say before I get into the extra deck, because the extra deck is probably the tightest spot of the deck. I thought about playing the scrap cards. I just felt like their level of power to their level of being a brick, their level of being a brick was much higher than their level of like power output. So I didn't opt for those. Other choices I had were these two. I didn't opt for them either because there's no VFD, and you're just really using them for link material, and that's really not that great. That being said, extra deck, we have 2 Exceed monsters, just the 2 Evils. I wanted to have Dweller in here, but there's not a whole lot of space, really, and you're not really ending on 4 stars a whole lot of the time anyway, because you're just making other cards. One sec. The 6-star tuner with a baby is an immediate free copy of this card. So we're playing Baron de Fleur. That card is just very good. You get it for so minimal card, like put into it. So it's so strong, and it makes you Nibiru proof for the rest of your plays, really. Also, you can pop a baby on the field with it. So like, if you can open the combo where you like baby pop, search Overraptor, search Misk, synchro for this, Misk for 2, and you can pop the baby right away. Get Archosaur for like if you have another baby in hand, or you can, yeah, it's just a lot of cool combos that I figured out with this card, kind of like the Yazi combos in Based. So being said, we have 2 7s, Destrudo and Vists plus Archosaur. Gives you a little more 7 options. We have the 1 Shooting Riser and Black Rose. This could be cut optionally. I just wanted to have like a strong card like Black Rose right now. And then we have Omega. In case we do make the Shooting Riser, we can synchro into this. Or if you have Baby plus Vis on the field, you can synchro into Omega. That way it's just like an easy reuse your cards. And I wanted to have Borreload Savage in the extra, but like turn 1, I wasn't seeing myself making 8 stars, and like if you do make the Shooting Riser, I still didn't see myself making it a lot anyway. So I went with more things that could come up versus like the higher possibility of an extra deck card that like could happen, but not as likely. Like this is just a standalone easy card to make, and it does something right away, whereas the other cards didn't as much. Then we have the standard Secure Garden, Link Kribo, just for Archosaur to get Pill online. I don't think that's like got wiggle room to cut for that. Now, honestly, the rest of the extra deck is a lot of Link monsters, and I want to put this card in my extra deck, but there's no space. Is Appaloosa, and there's no space making it turn 1 where I can think of it being good. And that being said, it's like I've seen myself making like either the Secure Garden to play with Barone or an IP with Giant Rex, because you can do that pretty easily. And then you have VFD, or not VFD, UTC. So it's like I want to put this card in here somewhere, but it's not in there for the moment. And then we just have like a bunch of just generic good Link monsters. So we have IP and 2 Nightmares to make. That being said, like Phoenix isn't really insane in the meta right now, and neither is like IPing for Unicorn on their turn. Not insane, but it's decent enough where it's like against Sword Soul or against Branded or Despia. Like it's strong enough where it's gonna hit them, and it's gonna hit them where you need to. And then we have 3 different Charmers. They're all pretty easy to make in this deck, honestly. Dark might be the kind of the hardest one in there, but like you have Destrudo, we have Snow for this, we have Giant Rex for this. Actually, no, you have Overraptor to make this. So all of these are options to make, and then we just link climb up into Access Code Talker. So it's like you have your choices here. Honestly, this deck could play all the Charmers except the water one, really. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you could play all of them. It's not necessarily going to come up, or it's not going to happen. But I want to just have like the versatility of all three of these in the extra for the format, whereas like Mirror Jade, Shishao. This is kind of like the weird one. I just wanted this in here because it's more likely to make this than win. But you could make win somehow. I'm not entirely sure in this deck. This one's definitely just easier to make. But yeah, that being said, guys, Dinosaur deck's pretty cool. I know it's not like everyone's favorite deck in the world. And it's definitely not tier 1 by any means necessary. But I thought it was cool, and like I get a deck to try thanks to Difo. Honestly, I just thought this card worked really well with Baby. So it's just like I really wanted to make this deck again because of this card alone. Yeah, hope you guys like this, and I'll have more stuff for you guys soon. Later, guys.